Could a simple formation change save Manchester United's season? Welcome to United News, your trusted source for honest and detailed Manchester United analysis. At United News, we don't just report the news. We dig deeper into the stories that matter most to United fans around the world. Today, we're tackling one of the biggest questions facing the club. Should Ruben Amorim consider switching to a 4-3-3 formation? The current reality at Old Trafford. Let's be honest about where Manchester United stands right now. The numbers don't lie, and they paint a concerning picture. After 2 games this season, United have managed just 1 point. Even more worrying is the fact that the team has scored only 1 goal, and that came from an own goal by the opposition. Yes, there has been some bad luck along the way. United missed a penalty that could have changed everything. The team also hit the woodwork twice, showing they are creating chances. But these moments of misfortune cannot hide a bigger truth. Manchester United are still far from where they need to be. This isn't just about 2 disappointing games at the start of the season. What we're seeing now is actually part of a longer pattern of struggles under Ruben Amorim throughout the 2024-25 campaign. The lack of clear progress, especially in terms of results, is becoming harder to ignore with each passing week. Looking ahead, the fixtures don't get any easier. United face Burnley next, a game that looks like a potential banana skin waiting to trip up the Red Devils. After that comes the daunting task of traveling to face Manchester City, their crosstown rivals who will be hungry to prove their superiority once again. The formation question that won't go away. Here's what we know for certain. Ruben Amorim is completely committed to his 3-4-2-1 formation. He has made this clear through his words and actions since taking over at Old Trafford. The Portuguese manager believes in his system and won't be swayed from it, regardless of results. But should he be more flexible? Should United fans be asking whether a different approach might unlock the potential of this squad? These are the questions that many supporters are quietly asking themselves as they watch their team struggle to find consistent form. The truth is, Manchester United have invested heavily in new players who might actually be better suited to a different tactical system. The club brought in some exciting talent during the transfer window, including striker Benjamin Sesko, winger Bryan Mbeumo, and the versatile Matheus Cunha. These players offer different qualities and could potentially thrive in a more traditional setup. How United could look in a 4-3-3 formation. Imagine for a moment how Manchester United might line up if Amorim decided to switch to a classic 4-3-3 formation. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a realistic look at how the current squad could be arranged in a system that has proven successful for many top clubs around the world. At the top of the formation, Benjamin Sesko would take his natural position as the central striker. The young talent has all the tools needed to lead United's attack, but he hasn't even started a game yet under the current system. In a 4-3-3, he would be the focal point of the attack, something that could help him settle into English football more quickly. On the right wing, Bryan Mbeumo would bring pace, skill, and goal threat from wide areas. His ability to stretch the play and create opportunities would give United a different dimension in attack. Mbeumo has already shown glimpses of his quality and could flourish with more defined responsibilities in a wider role. The left wing position presents an interesting challenge. Matheus Cunha isn't a natural winger, but he's intelligent enough to make it work. His versatility means he could drift inside during games, potentially switching positions with Bruno Fernandes to create confusion for opposing defenses. This kind of fluid movement could be exactly what United need to break down stubborn opponents. Speaking of Bruno Fernandes, moving to a 4-3-3 would see the Portuguese playmaker drop into a 3-man midfield. This could actually benefit both him and the team. With more midfield support around him, Bruno might find more space and time to create the kind of magic moments that United fans have come to expect from him. The midfield trio would be completed by Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro. Mainoo broke through under Erik ten Hag in a similar system, and returning to those conditions might help him rediscover his best form. The young midfielder has looked somewhat lost in the current setup, but a 4-3-3 could provide the structure he needs to shine. Having Casemiro as the defensive anchor would give the more creative players ahead of him the freedom to express themselves. The Brazilian's experience and reading of the game would be crucial in protecting the defense while also launching attacks from deep positions. the defensive setup that makes sense. United have the players to make a back four work effectively. Nussair Mazraoui would be the obvious choice at right back, bringing both defensive solidity and attacking threat from wide areas. His pace and crossing ability would add another dimension to United's play. In central defense, the partnership of Lenny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt looks like it could be something special. Both players are comfortable on the ball and can start attacks from deep. Their combination of youth and experience might be exactly what United need to build a strong foundation for the future. At left back, there would be healthy competition between Patrick Dorgu and Luke Shaw. Shaw's experience and attacking instincts make him valuable when fit, while Dorgu represents the future of that position. This competition could drive both players to higher levels of performance. The players who might benefit. One of the most interesting aspects of a potential formation change is how it might affect individual players. Kobbie Mainoo, in particular, might find new life in a three-man midfield. The current system seems to limit his natural game, but a 4-3-3 could allow him to showcase all the qualities that made him such an exciting prospect in the first place. There's also the question of Alejandro Garnacho. The young winger has found opportunities limited under the current system, but a return to traditional wingers could give him a pathway back into the team. His pace and directness might be exactly what United need to stretch games and create more scoring opportunities. Even Ahmad, who might lose his place in an immediate switch to 4-3-3, could benefit in the long run. With wingers back in regular use, there would likely be more substitute opportunities and rotation possibilities. This could help manage his development while keeping him involved in the team's progress. Why Amorim won't change his mind. Despite all the logical arguments for trying a different approach, Ruben Amorim won't be changing his mind anytime soon. The manager has been crystal clear about his commitment to the 3-4-2-1 formation, and nothing suggests he's wavering from this position. Throughout last season, Amorim consistently rejected suggestions to alter his tactical approach, even when results weren't going United's way. Reporters and pundits regularly asked him about the possibility of a more pragmatic setup, but the manager's response was always the same. He believes in his system and won't abandon it for short-term gains. This determination could be seen as both a strength and a weakness. On one hand, it shows clear vision and the courage to stick to his principles even under pressure. Many successful managers have had to weather difficult periods while implementing their ideas. On the other hand, flexibility has always been an important quality for top managers, and sometimes tactical adjustments are necessary to get the best from available players. Amorim spent the entire preseason working with his players to drill the 3-4-2-1 system into their minds and muscles. Countless hours on the training ground were dedicated to perfecting movements, understanding responsibilities, and building the kind of automatic reactions that make tactical systems work effectively. The integration challenge. It's important to remember that United's attack is essentially brand new. The key attacking players are still learning to play together, developing the kind of chemistry and understanding that takes time to build. Benjamin Sesko, Bryan Mbeumo, and Matheus Cunha are all trying to adapt to new teammates, a new league, and a demanding tactical system all at the same time. This process doesn't happen overnight. Even the most talented players need time to adjust to new surroundings and build relationships with their teammates. The fact that Benjamin Sesko hasn't even started a game yet shows how much work still needs to be done to integrate the new signings properly. The chemistry between players is particularly important in Amorim's system, which relies on precise timing and movement. Every player needs to understand not just their own role, but how their movement affects their teammates and creates opportunities for the team as a whole. The risks of stubborn loyalty. While Amorim's commitment to his tactical vision is admirable, there are risks associated with being too rigid in approach. Football history is full of managers who stuck too closely to their preferred systems even when evidence suggested that change might be beneficial. The biggest fear for United fans should be this. What happens if Amorim's system ultimately doesn't work at Old Trafford? What if, after giving it a full season or more, the results still don't improve significantly? In that scenario, United might find themselves with a squad that has been shaped specifically for one tactical approach, making it harder for any future manager to implement their own ideas. This is particularly concerning given that many of United's current players might actually be better suited to a 4-3-3 formation. If that's the case, then persisting with the current system might not just limit short-term results, it could also create long-term problems for the club. Learning from other successful teams. Looking around European football, it's clear that 4-3-3 remains one of the most effective and popular formations among top clubs. Manchester City have built their recent success around variations of this system. Liverpool's high-intensity approach has been devastatingly effective using similar principles. Even Real Madrid, one of the most successful clubs in world football, have consistently used 4-3-3 as their foundation. These teams have shown that 4-3-3 can be adapted to different playing styles and philosophies. It can be used for possession-based football, counter-attacking approaches, or high-pressing systems. The flexibility of the formation is one of its greatest strengths, allowing managers to emphasize different aspects depending on their players and opponents. For United, this flexibility could be exactly what's needed. The squad has players who could excel in various interpretations of 4-3-3, from the creative brilliance of Bruno Fernandes to the pace and power of the new attacking signings. The simplicity factor. One argument for considering a formation change is the proven simplicity of 4-3-3. Most professional players have experience with this system from their youth careers or previous clubs. The roles and responsibilities are generally well understood, which could help new signings integrate more quickly. Complex tactical systems like Amorim's 3-4-2-1 require extensive practice and perfect understanding from every player. When things go wrong, it can be difficult to identify whether the problem is with the system itself or with the player's execution of it. Simpler systems often provide more clarity about what's working and what needs improvement. This doesn't mean that 4-3-3 is necessarily better than other formations, but it might be more suitable for a team that's still trying to find its identity and build confidence. Sometimes, taking a step back to basics can provide the foundation for future complexity and sophistication. What this means for United's future. The formation debate at Manchester United is about more than just tactical preferences. It's about the club's identity and direction. Amorim was brought in to implement a specific vision of how football should be played at Old Trafford. Abandoning that vision too quickly could undermine his authority and create confusion about the club's long-term plans. However, successful management often requires the ability to adapt and evolve. The greatest managers in football history have been those who could adjust their approaches based on the players available to them and the challenges they faced. Flexibility, rather than rigid adherence to one system, has usually been the key to sustained success. For United fans, the question becomes, how long should the club persist with a system that isn't producing the desired results? At what point does tactical stubbornness become counterproductive? These are difficult questions without easy answers, but they're conversations that need to happen. The competition reality. United don't exist in a vacuum. While they're experimenting with tactical systems and trying to integrate new players, their competitors are moving forward. Manchester City continue to set the standard in English football. Arsenal have built a young, exciting team that's challenging for major honors. Liverpool remain dangerous under their new management structure. Every week that United struggle to find their best formation and style is a week that their rivals potentially pull further ahead. The Premier League is unforgiving, and there's little time for extended periods of tactical experimentation if they're not accompanied by positive results. This competitive pressure adds urgency to the formation debate. While it's important to have a long-term vision, United also need to ensure they're maximizing their potential in the short term. Finding the right balance between these competing demands is one of the biggest challenges facing any major club. The patience question. United fans have shown remarkable patience over the years as the club has gone through various tactical experiments and managerial changes. However, this patience isn't infinite, especially when there are clear signs that alternative approaches might yield better results. The question for supporters becomes, how much faith should they place in Amorim's vision, and for how long? The manager clearly believes in his system, and there are logical reasons for his confidence. But football is ultimately about results, and results have been disappointing for too long at Old Trafford. This creates a delicate situation where the manager needs time to implement his ideas, but the club also needs to show progress to maintain the support of fans, players, and the wider football community. Looking at the evidence. When we examine the evidence objectively, there are valid arguments on both sides of the formation debate. Amorim's system has worked well at his previous clubs, suggesting that it can be effective with the right players and sufficient time for implementation. The manager's track record gives him credibility and suggests that patience might eventually be rewarded. On the other hand, United's current squad composition seems naturally suited to a 4-3-3 formation. The new signings, in particular, might thrive in a system that allows them to play in their most natural positions. The simplicity and familiarity of 4-3-3 could also help the team build confidence and momentum more quickly. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of the current situation is the lack of clear progress. While it's unrealistic to expect immediate transformation, there should be signs of improvement and adaptation. The continued struggles, even with new players and a full preseason of preparation, raise legitimate questions about the current approach, the path forward. So what should United do? The answer isn't straightforward, and reasonable people can disagree about the best course of action. However, at United News, we believe that flexibility and pragmatism should be key principles for any successful manager. This doesn't mean abandoning long-term vision or constantly changing tactical approaches. Instead, it means being willing to adapt when evidence suggests that adjustments might be beneficial. The greatest managers have always been those who could evolve their thinking while maintaining their core principles. For Amorim, this might mean considering tactical variations or being more willing to experiment with different formations in specific situations. It doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing choice between 3-4-2-1 and 4-3-3. Modern football offers countless tactical possibilities, and the best managers use the full range of options available to them. The bigger picture. Ultimately, the formation debate at Manchester United reflects broader questions about the club's direction and decision-making processes. How United handles this tactical challenge will say a lot about their ability to adapt, evolve, and compete at the highest level of modern football. The stakes are high because United can't afford another season of disappointment. The club's position in the football hierarchy depends on their ability to compete for major honors, and that requires getting the tactical setup right. Whether that means persisting with Amorim's preferred system or considering alternatives, the decisions made in the coming weeks and months could shape United's future for years to come. For fans, the hope is that United will find a way to unlock the potential of their talented squad. Whether that happens through the current system or a different tactical approach remains to be seen. What matters most is that the club shows the flexibility and intelligence needed to maximize their chances of success. Conclusion. The formation question at Manchester United isn't going away anytime soon. While Ruben Amorim remains committed to his 3-4-2-1 system, the evidence suggests that a switch to 4-3-3 could potentially unlock the potential of United's current squad. The new signings seem naturally suited to this formation, and the simplicity of the system might help the team build confidence and momentum. However, tactical systems are only as good as their implementation, and Amorim deserves time to prove that his approach can work at Old Trafford. The challenge for United is finding the right balance between giving the manager the support he needs and ensuring that the club maximizes its potential in an increasingly competitive environment. At United News, we'll continue to monitor this situation closely and provide honest, detailed analysis of United's tactical evolution. We believe that informed discussion and debate are essential parts of being a football fan, and we're committed to providing the insights and analysis that United supporters deserve. What do you think? Should Amorim consider switching to 4-3-3, or is patience with the current system the right approach? Join the conversation and share your thoughts with the United News community. Together, we can help make sense of these complex tactical questions and support our beloved club through whatever challenges lie ahead. Remember to stay connected with United News for all the latest Manchester United analysis, news, and insights. We're your trusted source for honest, detailed coverage of everything Red Devils, and we're here to help you understand the beautiful game we all love.